Good day. My name's Graham Gordon Thomas, and I like to make comments on things that are present in the news. Although it's not exactly present, there's a lot of kerfuffle involving or pertinent to Hilary Clinton losing the American election. People are blaming a thing called Cambridge Analytica. Now, they may have had some influence on the outcome, but this is a message to Hillary, if she listens, or if she wants to chat about it privately, that's up to her, but there are reasons that she lost the election that had nothing to do with anyone else but herself and her husband. Every time Bill, God bless him, sure is a decent bloke, every time he appeared on the podium next to Hillary, well, people are reminded that he will then again be in the White House. And I think by the husband's presence, it looked like she needed a man behind her to get her into the White House. Look, Bill, he's my husband, and all that. And I think that went against her in a great way. Every time he came on, it reminded certain people why not to vote for Hillary. But the campaign itself, as an outsider, I just observe America from far, far and away in another galaxy, if you like. What Hilary Clinton did, she appealed to everyone but Americans. She appealed to Islamics who want to come into America en masse and scare the American people that they might create terrorism, because we know, regardless how peaceful it all is, we know that Islamics do want to create a worldwide caliphate. That is their ultimate desire, and it's no good there anyone denying it. That's the desire of them. God bless them for wanting these desires and ambitions. It's good to have an ambition. Well, after all, America's got an ambition to dominate the world with a one world government, which Hillary Clinton and Obama were part of. But the point of it is that Hillary Clinton also appealed for immigrants, illegal immigrants, people that are there from Mexico and America, other parts of America, South America, that came in there without the permission of the government, illegally. And she was all for them, but I never heard her say anything for the American worker, the average person working and slaving away and paying taxes. She actually heard her attack them, and the coal miners who actually busted their guts and worked hard down the mine. She told them their jobs will be gone. In a sort of if you like, a nasty, bitchy way. It can't be denied. She ought to replay her old election campaign and see that it was not Cambridge Analytica or Donald Trump or anything else that caused her loss of the election. It was whoever managed their campaign just didn't understand how to run an election campaign. She was either set up by people who she didn't know to run her campaign, so they made sure she lost, or she is such a poor judge of character, she thought by only having politically correct people surrounding you with perfectly politically correct people, and having all this political correct jargon in your election, that was going to win an election, and obviously it's not. Hillary Clinton did not appeal to the majority of the American people. She appealed to Muslims and Mexicans. She appealed to people who didn't even vote and not even voting. She appealed to people, refugees, and not even voting in America. No right to vote there. Instead of appealing to American workers and offering something to the American workers, which she never made any offers whatsoever to the American workers. It was all something about equality, which is basically meaningless in a country that is run by basically social Darwinism, and is as an act, if you like, through political means, a sort of economic eugenics. If you fail in America, you end up on the street, homeless. There's thousands of people homeless in America, thousands in jail, millions in jail, 23,000 murders a year, and people shooting up schools all the time. There are certain things in America that it means it is failing as a state itself, that Hilary Clinton did not even attempt to address. And regardless how we think about Trump, at least he appealed to that part of the basic logic within Americans, even if it was clumsy and if you like, without the great intellectual depth and skill that people would desire of a president. It is not Donald Trump's fault that he is President of America. That is a result of the political system itself limiting itself to the extremely rich and well-backed. Instead of having the best candidates in America, they have whoever can afford to be a candidate. And if that's democracy, well, that's not democracy, is it? It's a failure of democracy itself, that you need millions and millions of dollars to become a president of America. That's autocracy. That means only the elite in America can hope to become king or a pharaoh or president. Only the elite, only the ones with money, the Bushes, the Clintons, whoever has got the money becomes president, because people can't become president through their intellect. And Hilary Clinton did not offer any insight whatsoever through that campaign that she had any depth of intellect, which was evident in the way she conducted her campaign, which I have to be repeated. If she ever watches this, dear lady, Hilary Clinton did not appeal to Americans. She appealed to those Americans who are on the far left, who have been brainwashed with political correctness to believe anything that anyone told them, that it was good to flood America with Muslims, good to flood America with Mexicans, regardless. People can see there are so many Americans homeless already, and there is crime in America caused by immigrants. There's no doubt about that. And people will say, well, there's crime already caused within America, but that's not the point. So that doesn't justify bringing more in as a sort of equal opportunity to bring more criminals in. And that's some sort of equality thing. It's politically correct. It makes no sense. There's no logic in any of Hilary Clinton's campaign. And that is why she lost. She could have won without any interference from Cambridge Analytica or any of the Russians or anyone else, if she'd had an appeal to the average American person and combated Donald Trump on the ground that he'd taken. Instead of trying to create the high ground on all above all of that, you should have took him on boot for boot on the ground he'd taken, appealing to the worker. And that's why Hilary Clinton lost. It wasn't because of Cambridge Analytica. There's not enough votes in it. There wasn't enough votes in it, in the difference, to say that was the cause. The cause was the failure of Hilary Clinton to appeal to enough voters, because she appealed to Muslims and Mexicans and not Americans. And if you ever watch this, Hillary, think about it. You could have another go. What you need to do is employ far better tacticians. The ones you had were rubbish. Did you pay them? Did you pay the people who lost you this election because they thought political correctness was a way to win an election? And having your husband stood there behind you every time you were seen? Well, surely, come on. That lost you the election. Looking around for someone else to blame is a problem you have. Not to be able to come to terms with your own failure and the failure of your own political campaign. And that means you're really not fit for leader then. You have to be able to admit you make mistakes and errors to be anything near a leader in today's world. Otherwise it's just arrogance. The world's got far too many arrogant people in leadership right now. Thank you, I'm Graham Gordon Thomas, explaining why Hilary Clinton lost the election.